ChatGPT provided me some information, but can I trust it? Maybe some of the guys program it so it will stop my research, so I cannot develop some of the new things. Because I think if you will ask the questions about the nuclear weapon or something like this, it will stop it. It will not answer. I have never tried it. But
exactly.
Yeah, it's the same. But that's my case. So for your AI, I know that we're talking about the developer. They can develop a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think will be the most common use cases for the end users?
If you're talking specifically in a blockchain context, let's say you want to trade some things on chain, like I want to buy this token and so on. You can have a AI agent as an interface, and you just tell the agent like, hey, go figure this out for me.
Okay.
And so that would be a use case. So you just put in a prompt, buy this token for me. Agent figures it out, does everything for you. Or I need to bridge my Ethereum to 0G, like go do this for me. Agent can do the same thing. So it's kind of like creating a personal assistant for you with a new interface, this agent interface essentially. So that's one potential use case. You can use it exactly like ChatGPT as well. There'll be certain interfaces where you can do exactly the type of research that you said. Tell me more about the solar system. And you can be sure that these will be open source models that don't have an inherent bias that could be introduced through something like a centralized company. So I'll give you a scenario. If a sports shoe manufacturer approaches ChatGPT or OpenAI and says, I'll pay you $10 billion to train your model in such a way that every time somebody asks for what's the best sports shoe, my name comes up. It's feasible,
wow, it's
right?
Interesting.
It's feasible.
It can be.
It could very much happen that way. So
really,
how do you remove that level of bias? And so you need something that's essentially bias free. That's why I think
it's interesting.
Open source type of technology can really create a counter to these kind of economic incentives as well.
It's quite interesting that really you affect the search results. Like you can hack Google search, or you can hack any other search. You also can hack an AI.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You can even do things like...
And you plan to prevent it.
This is the area of AI alignment. That's what that's called, essentially. And so where does it start? It even starts with what data you use to train a model.
Yeah.
How do you know that the data that you used wasn't what's called poisoned?
What data do you use to train a model?
We're not quite at the training step just yet.
Okay.
But the way we would approach it is to make sure that all of the data sets that are used to train a model are publicly available on our decentralized storage system. So you can yourself then verify, okay, this is the data that was used. I trust this data source. There was no data poisoning that was used. And so you can then have verification throughout that. Then
who will verify that is not affected?
Any user can do that.
Any user can do that. Can you tell me a little bit more about this side? How do you plan to train your model?
Again, we're not quite at the training piece
I know,
yet,
but maybe how do you see this process in the future?
We will provide the infrastructure for others to be able to train models. And the difference will be somebody like OpenAI, what they do is let me just build bigger data centers, put more GPUs there so I can train bigger models. What we can do if we figure out decentralized training is that even individual end users can contribute their GPU power to actually train big models. That's a very difficult engineering challenge because you have to figure out, first of all, how do you train models in a low latency environment? How do you train models in a batch environment? How do you make sure that all these different devices chat with each other? And so that during a training run, if one of the devices fails or goes offline, how do you make sure it doesn't stop the training? So very complex engineering challenges. It's still on the research phase. So we're doing a lot of research against that. So we haven't announced any of that. That will come in the future. We have quite a few research coalitions with leading universities and research labs that we'll talk about, but that's a major area of research for us.
How many people do you have in your team?
We've got about 50 people right now.
50?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you need to fire up someone?
Fire up in what way?
No, I don't know, during these 2 years.
We've been pretty lucky. We have very stringent interview criteria. So far, we've only had to let go maybe a couple people.
What was the hardest person that you need to hire? Maybe this was a chief engineer officer or someone. Maybe you hunt for someone for the several months.
The hardest role so far to hire has been a head of community and a head of developer relations. Those we haven't fully placed really good roles. We've had somebody in the community role that came organically through the community, but as the community grows, we need somebody that has had more kind of management experience and has built a large community and managed, Discord tickets and so on over time.
I have never heard about the role like developer
relations. Yeah. It's basically a role to help developers onboard onto the chain, and then to also consistently provide useful content to them so that you can say like, hey, we've just released our fine-tuning service, for example. Here's how you can use it. Here's an example. I just trained my own, Twitter bot, and here's how I did it. Here's a 30-minute tutorial, super easy. You can use 0G for everything, like that type of thing. And then shows up to hackathons and basically says like, hey, what kind of issues are you encountering? Oh, you're having this issue. Yeah, I need to chat with the engineering team to fix this.
How many developers do you have not on board, but that already made something in your community, that they made something on the 0G?
We've got about 300 projects building on top of us at the moment. So that's why we're the largest AI layer 1, because just so many people see us as the leader in the space and they want to build with us.
You need only 300 projects to become a number one.
in this space, it's very difficult to find developers that actually want to deploy on you because it's such a limited set. Like in Web 2, we're talking about tens, if not hundreds of millions of developers. In Web 3, we're talking about tens of thousands. And so it's a very small, much smaller community.
Tell me about one of these 300.
Oof, which one do I pick? It's quite a few there, but
after our podcast, this project may have some additional users.
Exactly. So we need to be very careful.
Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to watch a full episode and also check the links in the description below.